The big nugget to the sad fan, where we talk about the good, the bad, and everything that made you sad from the previous week. And we've got a lot of football to talk about. There's not a lot more going on. We are not going to talk about the Las Vegas Aces losing the opening game against the New York Liberty. We'll just get that out of the way now, so you all know, yes, we watched it. No, we're not going to talk about it. Wes is the I told you so guy on the podcast. I don't know if you guys caught that, but but what we are going to talk about, Wes, is what is it like to run a triathlon and swim in? What did you swim in the ocean on this one, right?
Yeah, swim in the ocean. It was like 80 degrees. It was pretty nice. It was warm.
Okay.
I could see like stingrays and fishies and stuff. It was pretty cool.
While you were swimming?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get a little sunburn? Little burn?
I can't really tell right now, but I mean, I did get burned while I was down in Mexico. A couple stung by jellyfish. So
are they okay?
Yeah, they were fine. They were like, They said it just felt like it burned for like a couple minutes, and then it kind of went away because the salt water helps, and so you're swimming for like 40 minutes anyways. So,
how many miles in total are you going?
1.2 mile swim, 56-mile bike, and a 13-mile run.
So, on the last 2 miles of that run, what do you feel like? In detail. Describe it in detail. I want to know what's going through your head.
Well, so here's the thing. So the days leading up in Cozumel, it was like nice and sunny in the morning, and then in the afternoon, it was like there was like clouds, rain, little bit of lightning and thunder, and I was like, okay, so we're gonna get like
a little Tiki Barber and Rondane.
When we start running, the clouds are going to come in. It's going to provide some shade, going to get some rain. You know, it'll be refreshing after the bike in the sun. No, it just got hotter, and it got sunnier, and it was 90 degrees, 100% humidity. It was awful.
Okay.
I've done probably like 7 or 8 half marathons now. That was the hardest half marathon I've ever done.
How'd your body feel while you were there? Because you told me about it's like death.
The bike was really cool though, because you do like a perimeter around the island of Cozumel, and so you get to see like you're right next to the beach like almost the entire time. It's great. It was
got a little wind.
Lot of fun. Yeah, it gets a little windy at some parts, but it was a really cool bike ride.
Based on what you're describing, it probably felt great to have that wind blowing in your face.
Cozumel was fun. And we actually timed it perfectly because we came down. So after the race, we went to Riviera Maya, which is a little bit south of Cozumel. And then like the next day is when the first parts of Helene, before it became a hurricane, were coming along. And it hit Cozumel with like some 45, 50 mile an hour winds, but it mostly missed us. We just got like rain.
You know what? Speaking of hurricanes, obviously hearts goes out to southeastern United States, but there was a hurricane that almost came crashing down and lost its undefeated season, and we got a 20-minute delay in that game. And it wasn't like a 20-minute delay in game. It was literally the very last play of the game. We got like a 20-minute delay to find out who won. Who won this game?
And we still don't know.
I don't know. I think it's pretty clear when you watch the replay that the ball is moving. And the rule is if the ball is moving and it's touched by a player out of bounds, the play is dead. I think it's pretty clear. Yeah. But in that moment, like I love what you did there. And I think like that's almost a game. And the legend goes, they're still at the replay booth trying to figure out who won this game.
It was like simultaneous possession. Like they both caught it in the air. And here's actually something, a rule, little trivia I found. Do you know what determines in college who wins simultaneous possession?
It's usually, doesn't it go to the offensive player?
Whose ever foot touches the ground first, because they're considered to have possession.
I didn't know that about college football.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but what if it's his ass? Because I think his ass hit the ground. I don't think it was his foot. Like, what's the rule on the ass cheek?
Like, I don't think they should have called it a touchdown on the field, but they did, and I think there was inconclusive evidence to overturn what was called on the field.
You think? The ball is moving pretty clearly in the replay.
From any of the angles.
Yeah, you can't see it from any of the angles. I think you can. I think you
Not
see the ball
really.
moving.
I couldn't from any of the angles I saw. Maybe you saw like an extra special angle, but the angles they showed on TV.
You have
Maybe you have the full 60 replay angles or whatever.
all 22.
Yeah, but I didn't have that.
No, the Patrick Mahomes treatment. Maybe I get the special treatment.
Maybe you had that. Maybe you had that Michigan sideline camera.
Oh, yeah, the Connor Stallions. Is that what they're calling that?
Angle.
Overall, though, that game was great. That game was really good, and it was really good for the ACC to have a game like that, especially because Miami's really their only shot. And I say that to say, Wes, so you think they should have called a touchdown? Hold on, you think they shouldn't have called a touchdown on the field? But do you think it was a? You think it was a screw job to keep the only good ACC team undefeated?
Probably. I don't know. I mean, what about Florida State, right? Florida State's got to be good. No,
I don't know that joke still works this far into the season, as everybody knows that Florida, like maybe week 1 when they dropped the game like they did in Ireland, but I don't think you could use that joke anymore.
No,
like we all know who Florida State is, and they're bad. They're just
so bad.
They're just bad.
They got SMU. Hey, SMU has a good shot to win the ACC.
Everyone has a good shot to play against Miami in the championship of the ACC.
I think SMU might be the second best team in the ACC, actually.
No, it's Clemson. And you and I made fun of Klubnik and his name. And I'm sorry, because wow, did he come out and ball last week. Last week he looked phenomenal. We didn't really talk about it on the show because of the opponent. But, I mean, Clemson has looked good since week 1. And is this their new MO is what I'm thinking. So congratulations to Miami. If you weren't tracking what we were just talking about, Miami did end up getting the call in the back of the end zone. It got called no touchdown, incomplete pass, and Miami walked away with the win. They are still undefeated. But, yeah, I mean, is this Clemson's new MO where they're just going to lose the big game at the very beginning and then go, on to only have 2 losses, 1 loss?
I mean, that's not what they did last year. Last year they kind of sucked.
I think they only lost like 3 games last year, though, right?
I think they were 4. I think they ended up ranked like 20th or something like that.
I mean, but again, 20th out of how there's 119 college football teams.
You were going really hard on Dabo and Clemson, and I was like, give him a shot. I was like, Dabo's still a good coach. He just doesn't. He's not hip enough. He's not with it to use the portal. It goes against his religion, I'm assuming. So, I mean, he's got the chops, and he's good recruiter. But when it comes to keeping up with this day and age, he can't win the championship again.
Pardon me for not agreeing or truly enjoying somebody that touts and utilizes religion to tear down something that makes others wealthy or happy. So I apologize for where I stand on that. No.
Accepts your apology.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I think Dabo will never leave Clemson. I think it's the perfect place for him. They're going to put up with his BS there. It's in the Bible Belt. He says all the right things. Clemson was a struggling team before Dabo got there. They have not really known struggle since he got there. I mean, even now the expectations are super high because he has 2 national championships. But, I mean, like I said, they haven't really struggled since he got there. Obviously, he did something right with Trevor because, wow, is Trevor bad in the NFL.
We'll talk about that later.
He's shockingly bad in the NFL. But there was another exciting game outside of the Ponies, like you said, SMU taking it to Florida State, and that was Georgia-Alabama. And this is one of the games you got to watch while you were in Mexico. And wow.
I actually watched that Saturday after I got back. So
first thing you put on, you said you ran to the couch and you said, Rochelle, stop talking. I need to watch this game.
I'm watching Georgia-Bama.
We're at Pacific Northwest, duh. Where it's most important.
That was a great game. And let me just say, I am really glad that Kalen DeBoer is no longer coaching Washington. I'm glad he's in Alabama doing Alabama things.
Oh, it's because you're an Oregon fan. Again, I need to remind the audience.
So good.
I need to remind the audience.
Coach.
Wes
knows. All our 4 viewers know.
Wes graduated from UW, so it always confuses me.
Thanks for the free college education.
When he makes fun of University of Washington.
But you know, bro, because I've been a Duck fan since I met you.
I do, but it's still confusing to watch somebody just tear down their alma mater at every turn because they're a rival of a school he never attended. All right.
I grew up in.
Okay.
Basically.
I was there as a toddler, walking around with a big O on my chest.
Exactly. Dumbass.
All right, but go ahead. You can talk about Caleb.
So,
how do you pronounce his name?
Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, I said it right. Kalen
DeBoer. First year, everyone was expecting a drop-off, but he's already got him back. And you know what? Their offense looked better than it has under Nick Saban.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
He turned Jalen Milroe, who was ass last year. Jalen Milroe was ass. And he turned him into a Heisman contender.
I do still think he's not going to be amazing, right? Like, I don't think that Jalen Milroe is going to be great in the NFL. I mean, he's already being touted as a player that's going to go in the first round. And it's going to be like Anthony Richardson. It will. And Anthony Richardson, how's that going, Colts? How is it having a quarterback that started a total of 7 games, I think, before last week, maybe 8 games before last week, and is always hurt and is inaccurate like I said he would be, and everybody came at me and was like, well, Josh Allen. And I was like, do you know how rare it is for someone to become Josh Allen? Do you understand how rare it is that there are 32 positions for this job, and there's only like 10 people that are good at it? And you wanted to tout Anthony Richardson at me? And that's what Jalen Milroe will be. So, go ahead. Continue.
Your face is the same color as your shirt right now, because you're so mad.
It's because I hate this roller coaster.
Bama fan right now, just dressed in your red with red face paint.
Wait till we talk red face paint.
Not allowed.
We'll talk about that. But I don't like this new sports. Well, I guess every sports fan is recency bias. The last thing that happened is the most important thing that happened. But it was almost like when the Raiders were playing against the Browns and Amari Cooper caught a deep ball, which was called back. And again, we're going to talk about that here in a second. But a lot of Raiders fans were like, oh, what could have been? Oh, do you remember how great Amari Cooper was? I was like, yeah, I remember he led the league in drops like 3 seasons in a row. I remember, he was great when he caught the damn ball, but he didn't ever catch the damn ball. That was the big issue. So, yeah, whenever I run into sports fans like that, and I get it, it's for ratings, but I just can't sit here and be wrong for ratings on purpose. I don't get... It's the same reason why I wish Emmanuel Acho would just shut up, because all he does, and Robert Griffin III, they just say what's the most popular thing to say, and then they're like, this is the most popular thing, and I'm going to say it like this. Treat my audience like they're idiots, because they're never going to fact check what I said a while back, and I don't have to own it. That's why I make it a point. Well, stop it. That's why I try to make it a point to always fact check myself when I'm wrong. I will go back and be like, I was wrong about this. I own this. I was wrong about this. But go ahead, Wes. Georgia, Bama. Let's talk about the end of that game.
No.
Yeah. Shut up. All right. So let's talk about the comeback, right? Because we all know that Bama jumped out to a 28-0 lead. Take it from there, Wes.
Let's just say I don't really remember much because I was after it was 28-0, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a blowout. I was flipping to other games. I kept going back. And I was like, oh, cute. They let Georgia score a touchdown. And then
they let them score a touchdown.
Yeah, and then the next thing I know, I'm watching the game and I'm like, holy crap. They just took the lead.
What is happening?
This comeback. I thought Carson Beck was done for. I thought they were about to pull him because he was making really bad throws. He was just throwing it directly to the Alabama defense. I was like, what is this dude doing? He's melting down. And then, credit to him, in the fourth quarter, he pulled it together. He made some really good plays, some really good throws. And, they almost came back, but, of course, he threw an interception at the very end. And Alabama had a one play 70-yard touchdown possession right after they came back and took the lead. So
yeah, I believe it was Smith that caught that ball, right?
Yeah.
For that he's 17 years old.
Yeah, this dude.
Sorry, Ryan Williams. I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Ryan Williams. Yeah.
Dude, this dude's 17, and he just torched one of the best teams in the nation.
Yeah, and he put them on skates too. They were falling down like that movie
17.
where he jab stepped into the field and then took the sideline all the way down.
This guy's still in puberty, bro. And he's already dominating 22-year-olds.
It was great. I don't want to get ahead of myself because look what we did to Maurice Claret and Mike Williams, right? And they're like, we could come into the NFL now, and then nothing. They did terrible in the NFL. Okay, you have to. I think it's important. Let's understand this. That was a great game, and hopefully he continues to grow into his body. Hold on. So what I want to say is, I hope he continues into school and he grows into his body because that NFL game is a different game. Like it's a different type of physicality, but. For this game against Georgia, and you're right, Wes, these are grown men he's playing against. Georgia has a crazy class of recruits, crazy people that they got through NIL in the transfer portal, and they just already have massive athletes. But wow, what a game from him. And did I see what now?
Oh, did you see what his Twitter profile?
No.
No, sorry, his Instagram profile. He changed his Instagram profile picture to a picture of Michael Vick holding a dog. After the game.
Well, I mean, gosh, how old was he when that actually happened, though? 7? Right. 6 years old? He probably...
Was born?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it was 17 years ago, but...
Bro.
I don't know. Yeah, it might have been 17 years ago. 2007, 2008, I guess.
Yeah, it's 17.
Wow, Jesus. 16, why did you say that? Why did you say that? Now I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, hold on a second. It's the same thing. So we're going to say this. What a game. Alabama came out with the win. It looks like if Georgia doesn't lose to Texas...
That was game of the year, I think.
Game of the year?
Yeah.
If Georgia doesn't lose to Texas, both these teams are probably going to make it to the playoff, right? So we'll say that. But Wes, it's funny that we're talking about how old are we? Because when I realized I was old and then we got to rattle off some big games in the NFL is I was playing Madden back in the day and we used to do a thing called a fantasy draft. Do you ever do No, you didn't. You don't like that type of game. You're a Halo kid. Anyway, we used to do a fantasy draft where we'd all get online at the same time and draft players. And I'm sitting here like, nah, dog, I don't want that guy. He's too old. And he is literally 2 years younger than me. And I'm like, well, I'm officially old. That's it. I've hit old age. I just said the guy that is 2 years younger than me is too old for me to draft on a video game. So that was it. That's when it hit. And I think we're officially at the point where Chiefs are getting special treatment from the refs. And we had another call. This is now 4 weeks in a row and 4 wins in a row for the Chiefs, where we have a controversial call at the end of a game that allows the Chiefs to have an extra play or an extra first down that kind of greases the tracks for them to win the game. And this time it was against your beloved Justin Herbert, Wes, who,
I know.
I mean, that dude is an Iron Man, first of all. Wow. That guy takes the craziest hits, and I think part of it's because he's so tall. But he takes the craziest hits. He plays hurt. He plays through broken ribs. And he gets up and he does it again. He's basically Captain America for the Chargers, where he says, I can do this all day. But one, I think this is going to come back to bite the Chiefs because they lost Rice for the season with a torn ACL.
Rashee Rice. Yeah. That's a big one.
And they already don't have anybody. So they're talking about Tyler Lockett as a trade target. How did that make you feel?
Back away from my Tyler Lockett, bro.
He's a Seahawks legend, right? Tyler Lockett. I always said death taxes and Tyler Lockett down the field for 60 yards. It's always going to happen for some reason.
You can always win on him. Every time.
Yeah, always. But do you think that we're in the era now? Because we always used to feel this with the Patriots, right, Wes? That they're getting special treatment of some kind because they're the Patriots. Are we at that point with the Chiefs now?
I think so. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is the NFL's golden boy now.
He's the new Tom Brady?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
I don't hate them as much as I hated the Patriots, but maybe that'll
Yet,
change.
yet,
Yeah.
because it hasn't been 2 decades of dominance. Like again, I'm gonna age us. Wes, the Patriots were winning from like 2001 till just like the last 2 years. They
Yeah.
started being bad. Last 3 years they've started being bad. That's 20 years, 21 years of dominance in the NFL, where you're always worried about Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and the Patriots.
And it's funny because I actually rooted for the Patriots to go undefeated that year. They lost to the Giants. I was like, I want to see an undefeated season.
Nope. I was so happy with Plexico Burress, Eli Manning, and David Tyree, but Chiefs come away with it again. Did they get one from the refs? Have they been getting one from the refs? It remains to be seen. I don't know that the Chiefs are that good. Now, their defense is very good. I'm worried about their offense. I'm worried about Patrick Mahomes, but he did complete, I think in the last 3 years, it's his longest touchdown pass since Tyreek Hill left. And it was to Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, Xavier is so fast. That guy, man. I can't get over how fast he is. They got a really good one. How the hell did they pick up Xavier Worthy?
I think they got him from the Bills, too. I think they traded up with the Bills to get that. So we'll see. And Bills, I'm sorry, Bills fans. That was crazy. You guys got boat raced by the Ravens. Wow. Was it...
Jesus.
Was it the first play of the game? First play of the game, the ageless wonder, Derrick Henry took like 87 yards to the house. Yeah, I think so. I think it was the very first play.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah. So,
I was sitting at a Red Robin watching that game.
oh my God, I miss Red Robin, West. You remember those days? Like, audience, hit us up with where you used to go to watch football games. I think Wes and I in our repertoire, we have Hooters, and I miss the days when we'd go to Red Robin before we'd go see a movie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Remember that?
Red Robin's before a movie, Buffalo Wild Wings and Hooters. B-Dub's better food, though.
Of course, but not anymore. It was back before they got purchased by like Arby's. Now B-Dubs is just like meh. But back in the day when they were still like a legitimate franchise that was by themselves, they made some bomb food. Now it's just all penny pinchers. I'm so tired of you. Anyway, you're gonna get me on a tangent about these penny pinching organizations that ruin a great product. Wes, you wanted to talk about Sammy D and those Vikings.
Yeah. I think Sam Darnold is actually for real. I don't know what Dan Campbell's doing. Or not Dan Campbell, sorry. That's the Lions coach.
It is the Lions coach.
Yeah.
It's on your mind because of what just happened.
Yeah. Kevin O'Connell is brewing up there in Minnesota, but man, why did they even draft J.J. McCarthy?
Well, that's funny. Like,
it's good. And what's crazy is the Jets had Sam Darnold and Geno Smith as starters. And
yeah.
Look at them now.
I mean, you might be right.
You're just a trash franchise.
What you're so funny. If you weren't listening, he said that about the 49ers, everyone. Like, that was what Wes was saying about because, again, the 49ers fall. The Jets are a trash franchise.
Yeah,
but Jets. Sam Darnold, I said this last week, was on the Jets, the Panthers, the 49ers, and now the Vikings.
Trash all of them. And now he's rediscovered. This is crazy. This is crazy. How many quarterbacks we're saying like rediscover themselves? Like Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith. They're all having.
The way you say that is like they're discovering their sexuality or something. The way you're.
What's wrong with you? Get your hands. Disgusting.
It's the way you're saying it. I'm like, Wes, like, the way you're saying this makes me feel like you have an unhealthy relationship with these quarterbacks. When Geno Smith was...
Their talent, you jackass.
Baker Mayfield. Wes, calm down, breathe. You're getting sweaty over there.
But, like, when was the last time we saw 3 quarterbacks that everyone thought was done for, except maybe, like, a journeyman backup?
I didn't think Baker was done. A
lot of people thought he did. But
I knew he was hurt. And if you were paying attention to that Brown season, that dude was trying to play hurt that whole season, and it cost him. And then he was obviously hurt the whole next season with Carolina, with Los Angeles Rams, and I think he found a home in Tampa, and he's good. Like, we're seeing what we saw when he was healthy. He's accurate. He can move. Sam Darnold is the perplexing one for me, because I did think Sam Darnold was done, and I still don't trust him. I said last week, is it Justin Jefferson making Sam Darnold? And that still could be the case, but wow, you're absolutely right, Wes. he has looked good. And I don't know if it's Justin Jefferson because he was completing passes all over the field. Like Addison's back, 2 touchdown passes right away. Justin Jefferson 8. Justin Jefferson made an unreal catch for a touchdown. I don't know if you saw it.
Justin Jefferson. What do you expect?
I mean, the ball did hit him in the chest, but I was watching that play and I was like, how did he catch that ball? Like, how did he catch that ball? It just sticks to him like a magnet. Justin Jefferson is so good. But yeah, the Vikings undefeated. Jordan Love, welcome back. Yeah, no, not me. I
didn't think so.
That division's probably the best in football, right?
Yeah, I thought Lions were gonna come away with it easy, but it's gonna be fun.
Packers, Vikings, Lions. It looks like a great division. Let's talk about a terrible division. And I said the Bills. I did that, and then we have the Bears. I did say, wow, it's crazy to see what we're seeing out of some of the teams in the NFC East earlier. I mean, pardon me, the AFC East. But you've got New England, terrible. You've got Miami, just terrible. Really bad. Terrible.
I mean, they lost their starting quarterback. I mean, what more do you expect?
Buffalo, who looks great, but got boat raced. Okay?
Every team has a down week, though.
Any given Sunday.
Exactly. Any given Sunday.
And then you have the Jets.
I think they're still a Super Bowl contender. Jets, though, are, like I said earlier, a trash franchise. They literally gambled their entire future for a crippled, one-legged quarterback who promotes vaccine conspiracies.
We are, ladies and gentlemen. This is where I wanted to get Wes. I was trying to get, and before I could even get the Jets out of my mouth, Wes wanted to do. This is what I was hoping for: is the Aaron Rodgers effect on Wes. Aaron Rodgers is that player that pulls it out of Wes like no other player.
This mouth-breathing idiot. Okay, they gambled their entire future on this crippled, one-legged, band-aid up Achilles, bro. Little surfer dude. Like, you're a trash franchise and you're always going to be a trash franchise, okay? You wasted Geno Smith. You wasted Sam Darnold. Like, it doesn't matter who you put in the front office. It doesn't matter who you put at coach. It doesn't matter who you put at quarterback. You're always going to be trash, and you're forever going to be trash. And you know what? One of your greatest coaches ever had a foot fetish.
That was a weird thing to throw in there at the end. That was so wet.
The last 2 decades is they got
so weird. You just throw it in there.
It's the best thing that happened to your franchise in 2 decades.
Okay. It was so odd the way you threw that in there, Wes. What do we have to look forward to this weekend? What are we watching for this weekend? I think in college football, it's the Red River Rivalry, right?
Red River Rivalry. That's pretty much the only good thing. I mean, you probably know more about the NFL schedule. I usually only pay attention, or I start looking at the schedule like Thursday night.
During the Thursday night game, you're like, oh, there's a game on. Who else is playing this weekend? But no, so what are we excited about in the Red River Rivalry this week or this year? Because I think it's Texas. I think Oklahoma is trash. But
Texas is going to be good. They're going to boat race them.
You think?
Yep.
Arch Manning looks good. Arch Manning looks like a sophomore that's getting his first couple starts under his belt. But I mean, next year, you guys better watch out. Arch Manning as a junior at Texas. Texas is starting to look like that team that doesn't retool. They just reload. Okay, they do not rebuild at all. They are just rebuilding. Pardon me, they did not rebuild. They just reload, because that team looks crazy.
One more thing on the NFL that I think we missed. McCaffrey. Yeah. Did you see the news about McCaffrey?
Yeah, I'm always curious.
This on both legs.
Yeah,
that's rough.
He's great. We'll see what happens. We'll see what platelets and blood doping therapy they put into him in Germany.
I've had
allegedly.
It sucks. It sucks because you think you've recovered, like you don't do anything for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you're like, okay, it feels good, and then you go out and do a run, feels good. You do another run, bam, you wake up and you can barely move your ankles. It sucks.
Yeah, he might be out for the season, but
we'll see.
We'll see what happens again. We'll see what
to blow out both of his Achilles and come back looking like a Aaron Rodgers wannabe.
I agree. I agree with you. But we got a can't get right game, Wes, and we said we'd talk about this a little bit later. You know who that can't get right game is? Jaguars against the Colts.
Oh, yeah?
It's a division game. They are 0-4, but they need this game against the Colts. They need to win this game, and I think the Colts, they're still favored to win after all this time, after being 0-4. They're a -3 favorite, but Trevor Lawrence needs to pull his head out and remember how to throw the ball accurately. Because some throws are lasers. You watch him and you're like, that's why he was the number 1 overall pick. But some throws, you scratch your head and go, why can't he throw the ball?
Well, so is Joe Flacco going to be starting next week?
I'm not sure. They have not released that news yet if he's in or out.
Joe Flacco is ageless. That dude. I'm not sure why the Browns didn't just stick with Flacco last year.
Flacco and Andy Dalton, ageless wonders in the NFL now.
They should have just gotten rid of Deshaun Watson. Just cut the fat. Like, I think at this point they're like they think that they're too invested now to just like let him go. But he's not gonna do you anything. He's not gonna do you any favors. Just cut your losses.
Let
like,
Joe Flacco lead your team.
Yeah.
He's like 38 years old. Wes.
Joe Flacco won a game in the playoffs last year.
Wow. If that is our measuring stick.
Yeah. It's better than any other Cleveland quarterback did in 34 decades.
That's accurate. But they have $250 million tied up. And congratulations to the Raiders for beating the Browns, right? And it's so funny when they're like, this game was not lost by Deshaun Watson. This game was lost by a drop pass and Amari Cooper. Things you don't see in the stat sheet. And when I saw that tweet, this is Emmanuel Acho, by the way. And when he tweeted things you don't see on the stat sheet, I wanted to say, yeah, like number of sexual assaults. But anyway, we've also got, I think, what will be the most exciting game of the weekend. And this is the game the Jags should have won against the Texans, who are now playing the Bills. And I think, one, the Texans are coming off an exciting win. The Bills are coming off a disappointing loss. I think that's a game to watch this weekend, and I think it'll be one of the more exciting games because we have two high-flying offenses when they can really get going.
We also have a pillow fight in the Dolphins-Patriots.
With no quarterbacks?
Yeah.
See what it's like to watch an NFL game from the 80s when they run the ball 120 times. When we run the ball 120 times.
We got Bo Nix on a 2-game winning streak coming in to whoop some Raider ass.
It was only a moment in time that we could get away from the Oregon quarterbacks. I gave you Justin Herbert, but you had to ramrod in Bo Nix.
Well, we didn't talk about Dylan Gabriel this week. Should we just talk about him? We got the dub over your UCLA team.
We're good. I don't think we have to talk about that. In fact, on that note, thank you so much for joining us each and every week, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you joining the show. We will see you next week.